Hello, my loves. How are you today? Today, I want to share with you a unboxing of a swap that I did. Long story short, every year I accidentally have a tradition with one of my students, and we exchange tarot and oracle decks. We get in each other's DMs. We're like, hey, we just did a clean out. Do you want to do a trade? And the other one's always like, yes. And then we make little videos showing each other like the decks we're getting rid of, giving like a little comment on them, why we're letting go of them, what we enjoyed, what we hate about them, that kind of thing. And then we select, it's usually like four or five from each other's stash there, and we swap. And it's always really fun because we do it at the end of the year, usually right around my birthday. So my birthday is actually tomorrow, not as you're watching this tomorrow, but my tomorrow, November 17th. I really enjoy the deck swaps because it's like a little present and it's a fun way to get some new decks and to give some new decks. And the only thing it costs is what it costs to ship it to each other, which is usually less than what buying one new deck would be. So we're going to dig into that together today. And another thing that I really enjoy about this particular tradition, this swap that we do, is I get to explore decks that I never would have bought myself. And it's really fun to be forced, not forced because I agreed to, but like be forced to try something that I wouldn't normally try. That's one fun thing about swapping decks with people who don't have like the exact same style that you do. You get to try out things that you wouldn't have on your wish list. So I have some very interesting decks to share with you today and to explore myself for the first time. Grab yourself a beverage, and I hope that you enjoy the ride. I think I forgot to mention this, but I am doing this deck swap with Heather Mattern, who also has a YouTube channel and has decided to also share the decks that I swapped with her. So if you want to see what she got from my stash, I'll leave that linked below so you can head over to her video and check it out. Before we get into flipping through the decks that I got and my thoughts on it, I wanted to share this little bit with you because this is one of those rituals that I do whenever I get a used deck, and sometimes with my own decks when I'm deciding to revisit them. And that is to put the deck in order. Now, it's often funny to me because a lot of the times when people find out that I do this after they swap decks with me, they apologize that they didn't put it in order because I put them in order before I send them out as well. But I actually prefer it this way because it allows me to sit with the deck, to feel into the energy of it without doing like a reading first or particularly trying to look at the cards. I'm usually just making piles and putting it in order, and it's this beautiful like reset of the energy that doesn't completely wipe the slate clean, but resets it in a way that makes it usable and makes it feel like we're kind of sitting down to coffee before I dive in and ask them all kinds of intimate questions. Or look them down from head to toe by like intently looking at each card. It's just like, just fondle them a little bit, put them in order. It's a really fun ritual. And if you haven't tried it with your own decks, I highly recommend it. This is something that I do with decks that I haven't touched in a while that I want to get to know, or perhaps decks that I'm having like a hard time with and I want to kind of reset, start from a clean slate with our relationship. It's also something that I'll just do sometimes if I want to like touch my cards, but I don't want to necessarily like do a reading. It just allows me to kind of like look at each card and revisit the deck, get reacquainted, play together, and then of course shuffle a million times after. But yeah, I wanted to share that tidbit with you, and then we're going to start looking at the decks. So first we're taking a look at this Tarot for Empaths, which I was a little hesitant about, not gonna lie, because it seems a little gimmicky. But I do have to say, what got me was when she told me about the cardstock. She's like, it smells, it's linen. And I was like, I know exactly how that cardstock shovels, and I need this deck. So this is a really interesting one. I had to pause because my dog started barking, so I'm not sure exactly if I completed a sentence, but this one is an interesting deck because it has the astrological symbols and associations, and it also has keywords for upright and reverse. Now, there are a few, especially the Magician, that I'm like, I really don't like those keyword choices or perspective on the card, but it is kind of cool. And I really enjoy the like super saturated imagery that this deck offers. It's very photographic and not, again, something that I would usually pick, um, especially since it feels kind of gimmicky from just the box and the website I looked at. So I did look at the website because it said it includes like free online training, master level certification, ebook, membership, etc., etc. And I guess it's something you need like a special access code to get when you first purchase the deck. So I couldn't look at that and see what that was about, which I'm not upset about, but I don't know. I'm always a little weary with things like that. But I'm excited to dive into this particular deck to see how it reads and to get out of my comfort zone, because that's one of the things I love about these deck swaps. And I think I said this already, but the fact that I get to try decks that I wouldn't normally try, because sometimes I find my favorites that way. So we'll see. This isn't one that's like on the top of my list to dive into, but it's intriguing enough that we're gonna give it a shot. I thought this Four of Pentacles was super interesting with like the cigars, kind of weird. Love this Five of Pentacles. I should probably speed this up for you so you don't get bored. Especially since I'm running out of things to say about this one in particular. I do find it interesting when decks have so many like modern things in them. This, like, you have the motorcycle over the skyscrapers. That veteran one is really cute. I don't really get it for the Four of Wands, but it's still cute. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about the modern industrial feel, but at the same time, sometimes it's nice to think about tarot in the context of more like quote unquote real world things. So like less abstract, less celestial, less intangibly spiritual, and bring it back to a more grounded real world sense. I forgot about this. It's been a couple days since I filmed this, but not a fan of the cup suit. It does not feel like it belongs to this deck at all. It's very pippish and it's just a bunch of cups, which seems overly odd when all of the other cards were like a scene or a photo of like somebody, or I don't know. It was just very strange. So we'll see. This next one is the Phases and Forests Oracle deck. And again, I put this one back in order alphabetically. This is by. Is it Cat Riles? I think so. If not, I will correct myself down below. But this is an indie oracle deck that I found intriguing and almost got, but steered clear of because I'm that type of person who doesn't like to get something when everybody else likes it. Like if there's something that's super popular, like everybody's watching this particular TV show, or like there's a book that everybody's talking about, like even if I'm intrigued by it, I won't engage with that until the hype dies down for a couple of years, which is such a weird personality trait, but there's that. But this one's really interesting, and I'm excited to use it a little bit. I have a feeling this one probably won't be with me very long, although never say never. That Stories of Your Bones card just looks so good. I want to hang it on my wall. Also really liked the wolf card. But these types of decks with this rose petal finish usually just, I was going to say I don't have them for long, but now I'm going to eat my words because my favorite Danielle Noel Oracle deck has that finish, and I still totally have that one. But not a lot to say about this one. I'm intrigued. I love the wood box. I'm excited to see what the hype was about and whether it's for me or not. This is another huge hyped one that I did not think I would like, so I didn't get it. But in terms of a trade, I'm like, let's give it a shot. So this is, I should have put all of these in front of me so I could look at the name. It's like Tarot of Persephone's Garden. Yes. This is an indie deck, I believe. I think it's also out of print, so apologies there. But this deck is this artwork. I don't know what era of art this is. Love the devil. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna have to go through and edit out all of the nudity in this clip. That's gonna be fun. I should do that right now. So my apologies for the choppiness. Anywho. This deck, usually I don't like this art style, but I thought I would give it a go. And I have to be honest, I used it already and I like it much better in person than I do like seeing it over the camera online. It's still not particularly, my first choice, but there are some cards where I'm just like, ooh, like that's a good one for that. And I really appreciate that Lilith is the devil. So I'm excited to continue working with this one, exploring it a little, and seeing what it has to offer me. Let's see, what are we going through next? Oh yeah, that little King of Wands was hiding in the box there. I think next we are looking at a deck that super surprised me that I said yes to, and this is the Biblical Tarot. Now, I am oh my god, solitary, there's the word, solitary witch, and grew up in a very strict Baptist Christian home. I was homeschooled until I reached the 7th grade. I had to read the Bible many times, front to back. We went to church, we did all the things. So I do have kind of an aversion to things of this nature usually, but I don't know. I was like, there's a reason this pops up. Maybe it's time for a different perspective to look at things in a different way to see if we can not get so triggered by the control and fear mongering that I experienced growing up in relation to all of these little stories. So we'll see how it goes. I do have to say, I'm obsessed with this cardstock, probably one of my favorites of all time, which will make me want to use it, funny enough. So it's interesting. It's interesting. I don't have a lot to say about this because it makes me feel a little uncomfortable. But that's how we stretch and grow, right? So this particular deck doesn't come with a guidebook really. There's like upright and reverse meanings for each of the cards, and that's it. But you do have the Bible story and a little bit of a Bible verse associated with the particular card. And it's going to be interesting to look at that and explore that through a new lens. A few did catch my eye, like Jonah and the Whale. I can't remember exactly what I thought when I was looking at that for the first time, but I was like, love the image, one, but two, really interesting choice for whatever card number in there that was. So that's the Biblical Tarot. Not sure. We'll see. Love the cardstock. Super random. Can't believe I'm showing this. But here we are. Next, along the same lines, is Notoria, Darkness and Light. Now, this is a deck that I actually already own, and I can't really tell you why I decided to say yes and get a second copy, because these decks, I have both. I have Goetia, Tarot and Darkness, and Notoria, Tarot and Light. These are based on the angelic entities and demonic entities. This one's particularly angelic, but the other ones, the demonic entities, as they are listed in the King of Solomon texts. And I think I'm hesitant to work with these because they are so closely connected to, like, this isn't like a fun story. Like, this is legit. Like, we're tapping into real beings, or however you'd like to say it there. So even, with the angelic ones, like, you gotta be a little careful. So because of all of that, I have not really delved into using this copy of the deck that I already own, because I'm waiting to fully do some more research on it. And the guidebook that this comes with offers very little. So again, I don't know why I got a second copy, but I felt like I should say yes. So to be continued. We'll find out what that's all about and what becomes of said deck. But it is a really interesting deck. The artwork's really intriguing. Some of it's a little creepy. But if you read like the actual description of real angels, they're creepy. Like, we're not talking about like the little My Precious Angel or whatever that was as I was a kid. I probably butchered that. I can see it in my mind. I hate when that happens. When you like think of something and you can see it, but the name escapes you. Happens to me all the time. Anyway, moving forward. This is the Mermaid Tarot by Dame Darcy. This is the one I've used the most since I unboxed this, and mind you, it's only been a couple of days, so like this isn't a review or anything. But I really enjoy this one. I already am somebody who really loves the ocean. I actually don't have any ocean themed tarot decks because I don't feel like any of them really resonated with me. But this particular one has been really fun to use. Just to see like all the mermaid imagery, all the sea imagery, the colors. The cardstock's a little stiff for me. And again, this isn't my usual art style, but she and I have had a couple of interesting readings together, and it speaks really, really clearly. So I'm excited to continue to get to know this one and play with it, even though we are entering into the snowy months here in Maine. It's Scorpio season and it was my birthday, so water is still appropriate. Not that you have to use things in the seasons that they're like associated with, but usually I would find this a little strange. But on the other hand, like, still not really, because I'm a water girl through and through. So, love the colors. Super fun deck. Looking forward to continuing to use it. Looking for words to fill the time. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope that you enjoyed this unboxing, this little exploration of the deck swap. I actually still have quite a few decks that I'm looking to either sell or trade, to swap, to find new ones for, to find new homes for, all of the above. So if you're interested in that, send me a DM on Instagram or send me an email, because I would love to trade with you. And yeah, really easy, no obligation. I just share what I have up for grabs. You share what you have up for grabs, and we see if we can make a trade. And if not, then no hard feelings. We just move on. With all that being said, I'll see you in my next video. Take care, my loves. Bye.